Yo, what's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman, our Sunday morning call-in for this Sunday, April 16th, 2023. And this is number 75 in the series of call-in shows. And we are coming with a glorious opportunity this morning to talk once again about our beloved sport of boxing. What's present, what's past, and what's on the horizon. So welcome everybody that's out there. I hope that each and every one of you that had a chance to rise this morning have come to do so in your right frame of mind. Because I'm feeling pretty good myself, and I just want to spread that type of positive energy out there. That's why I put that message in the chat. Let's have a great show, huh? Let's do something for one another with an early start of positivity. Yeah, put it out there like that. And just let me say this about the answering the bell call-in show. That intro with that music, the little bit of a storm over the ocean opening, it's like the storm comes and paves way, then brightness follows, huh? Yeah. Analogies, metaphors, once again working through on the Stormybman channel. That's what it's all about. Something positive and uplifting to get your day started, get your week started. Because there's so much negativity out here. And all we need is just a little bit. Little ray of sunshine, light to beckon for hope, prosperity, aspiration, because we can always come down on one another, right? We can pick each other apart and tear each other down. That seems to be the nature of man. But let's try building one another up. Let's try lifting one another up. It's not about handouts. It's about hand up. Assist with another to get their foot on the rung of the ladder toward prosperity, success, uprighteous and lifting. Yeah. That's what I'm on this morning. And I just wanted to share it with you. Hopefully I can spread it, and then you can pick that baton up and carry it and share it yourself, because that which you put out into the universe can come back to you in the universe. So be careful what you put out there. If you're not ready to receive some sour, some lemons in return. Yeah. Let's see who we got in the building this morning. We got Chi-Town's finest. My man is always on it. Blessings and love, Sensei. What's good with you, Chi-Town? Always good to have you out there, brother. Jerome Truitt saying morning, Sensei. Bert out there saying good morning and peace, OG. Here to learn the sweet science. Get my seat up front early. Peace, chat, and family here. Yeah, what's good with you, Bert? Flawless Mentality and Black Excellence, hosted by Dr. Mark in the building, saying, salute to the gods, Sensei Stormybman, my brother of excellence from another mother, fam, and the gods and beautiful goddesses of the mighty LDBC Answering the Bell call-in family. Dr. Mark, be on it, man. I just say, hey, y'all. What's good, man? Antonio MMA is out there saying salute, Sensei. I want to pin this message here that I put in the chat. Yeah. Who else we got? Learn in the building saying salute Stormybman in chat. Salute to you. 704 Joe is in the building saying peace. Cycling, just listening. Peace to the chat and Stormy B. What's good with you, 704? I got to get me a bike, man. I want to do some cycling myself. I used to do it a few years back. Got to get back on it. Main biker is in the building saying good day, Stormy in chat. Mr. Shelton, LDBC or nothing in the building saying driving and listening. What's good with you? Everybody else is greeting one another at the moment. So yeah, we're coming off of another fight Saturday where we had an opportunity to see the big boys of boxing. And man, just as always in the heavyweight division, there's always something that's happening, with the big boys. And boy, they did not disappoint this past Saturday. For those of you who weren't able to check out the fight, you had two big heavyweights out there. Two big ones. Joe Joyce and Zhilei Zhang came together in a promotion that was titled Big Bang. And there was some banging going on, although it was not much offered up from Joe Joyce. Zhilei, the big Chinese, showed Joe Joyce his iron fist southpaw left hand, Yeah. And the fight went almost 6 full rounds before old Joe had to succumb to injuries due to the battle. He didn't pass the eye test, folks. Yeah, the old UKI struck again. And old Joe looked the worst for wear. Listen, there are so many lessons from this one fight alone. It'll give Stormy at least another 2 or 3 weeks of Tuesday tussles to break it down for you. But I'm not here to break that down no more. I had a post-fight show already. I had a pre-fight breakdown show. And we're here today to just talk about the boxing, You got a big fight coming up very soon. Next week, a pay-per-view where Gervonta Tank Davis is going to be taking on Ryan Garcia. Some of you will be happy to see that. Some of us will be happy when it's over. Because hey, listen, it's one of those things, personally, I think it's just in the way, That's what I think of it. It's just in the way. But we could talk about that a little bit today as well, I do believe that 2023, will be a year of seeing fights that we don't want to see, and eventually getting some fights that we wouldn't mind being entertained by. But somewhere along the way, we have to get what we want. And that's what these promoters aren't really understanding at this time. They're going so far, full speed ahead, feeding us what they want us to have. But it's about time that we start looking at boxing like we look at our grocery bills, huh? I mean, some of y'all don't like your vegetables, but you'll load up on them carbs, the pastas, the rice, the spaghetti, and all of that, huh? And then be wondering, what about the diabetes, huh? Your meats, processed or not, but if somebody came and tried to fill your cart up with a whole bunch of veggies, greens, kale, green beans, lettuces, cabbages, you get mad, huh? But you gotta have some. It's nourishment. But what I'm trying to say, the point I'm trying to make is you don't want all that on your plate, right? So why are we accepting them to put all this foolishness on our plate when we come to want some boxing? It's time to feed the bear. Give us some damn good fights, man. Classics. Something that we could look back on down the line and be like, you know what? I remember that fight. I remember when we was at such and such house. We had some, man, I had the bomb wings, huh? Quee made up that good food out there, man. We was tearing something up. Yeah. But she said she couldn't really do nothing. But everybody was loosening their belts because the bellies was getting tight, huh? Yeah. So if they give us the fights that we want, that's what we'll end up enjoying and reminiscing about, huh? We don't care what they make. We don't care about the next purse they gonna pick up, huh? Or what new capri pants they want to wear at the next event. We don't care about none of that stuff, or even what they're gonna tweet, as long as they getting in the ring, huh? So next Saturday's event, please come and go as fast as all the other ones, hopefully a little faster, huh? And then we can get on with some real boxing. Yeah. See, I'm not inspired or even motivated by the foolishness. I ain't. Not at all. I want to see the real stuff, man. And last night's, or where, depending on where you are, because I know some brothers that's like over in the UK, that was evening for y'all. It was afternoon for a lot of us. But that fight yesterday, that's like an hors d'oeuvre. Yeah, it was two big heavyweights going at it, doing their thing, smashing into each other and everything. That's what we want to see. But by no means do you get it twisted and try to impress upon us that it was a great fight. Because it was not. It was two big old heavyweights that should be fighting each other, because that's what contenders who are not champions do. They face one another. Huh? Let's be realistic. There's a lot of people out there that think, man, that was a great fight. No, it wasn't. It was two big guys. One guy wasn't schooled and educated enough. They both close in age, almost 40. Huh? But we got a lot of heavyweights in their 20s, don't we? And they ain't facing each other. Huh? And the ones that were in their earlier 30s wasn't facing each other. So what's going on? Goes back to what I said about these promoters, huh? You see how I tie it all up? Because they just sprinkling you, huh? Sprinkling. Put some damn frosting on my cake, man. Stop messing around and giving me those damn candy sprinkles, huh? That ain't nothing but dressings. Yeah. Stop sprinkling the foolishness, man. Yeah. You gotta call it for what it is, man. Who else we got in the building here? I see a couple more people came in. I acknowledge Kwee. She didn't think I saw her, but I threw that in her about her not being able to cook a little bit. But we know differently, huh? Because G5, who ain't far behind, huh? Must got a plate in his hand right now, huh? Is out there. BBG in the building. Platboy Plays is out there. Royal Constrictor is out there. Main Biker, I got you earlier. Rod Neal, huh? Yeah. See, when you got somebody that could throw down, fixing them vittles, as we used to call them, huh? You go out there, roll them sleeves up and go to work. Hey, let's get this work done today, y'all. Because you know when you go back home and you can sit down to that plate, it makes it all worth the while, huh? Yeah. And then some of y'all, if you got the right one with you, huh? You get a little dessert too. Yeah. Tell them about it, G5. Look at Quee. She says, he's right here. I'm about to go cook him some food in just a minute. I know he's right there. He ain't going nowhere. Didn't I say that? I said that months ago. I said G5 ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. His mom ain't raised no fool, huh? He probably just finished fixing the foundation on the house to make sure that everything is leveled, and when you sit a pot on the stove, it ain't tilted, huh? Yeah. See, I have my own way of articulating these things, but you can feel me. You feel me, huh? He ain't going nowhere. You can put him out. He gonna be sitting on the front porch like a dog. And he ain't gonna move. But if he smells something in that kitchen, he gonna be scratching at the door like that dog too. And if he still don't open up, he gonna come through the window, whether it's open or closed. Shit. Yeah, hey, listen, I've been around the block, man. I know what I'm talking about, okay? I know. Shit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Who else we got coming in the building? Joseph Townsend, I see you out there. Shamar Rashawn, shalom. What's good with you? Joseph Townsend, Detroit, BC. Yeah, get G5. He say, I'm gonna be like, it's me again. Yep. Is it soup yet? Yeah, man. I know. Man, you ain't said nothing but a word, bro. Ain't said nothing but a word. Hey, it's me, Sergey. Except for you ain't got to peep through the bushes like Sergey. Sergey was on some, I don't know what you want to call it, some weirdo stuff, huh? Hiding outside that woman's house in the bushes and everything. And it's like, you know what? Dude, hiding outside that woman's house. I'm like,
what?
Beating on her dog and everything. I guess over there in Russia, no don't mean no, huh?
What?
Huh? I don't want you, Sergey. I don't want to talk to you, Sergey. Huh?
What?
Sergey answer was like,
What? What the fuck? What? What the fuck? What?
this. And somebody please explain to me, even to this day, there is no like mugshot, police mugshot of Sergey. Did they not arrest him? Did they not fingerprint him? Did they not take a shot? I mean, come on. This goes back to the Obama administration, and they was talking about throwing people out. Remember? What the hell happened? What happened? He got that $12 million fight against Canelo. Let Canelo knock him out. And we ain't heard nothing from him since. I mean, see, y'all fight for the wrong things, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, let's see Shakur versus Haney right now. Haney got a fight with Lomachenko. Let's see Shakur versus Tank right now. Tank got a fight against Garcia. Let's see Tank against Haney and Shakur on the same night right now. Morons. Let's see Sergey mugshot right now. I want to see it. See? Yeah. You know, he beat a woman up, man. She's all messed up. Her spine, everything is messed up. The dog is frightened for life now. Huh? And they put Michael Vick in jail for fighting dogs. None were killed, by the way. You got cultures of people here right now in little communities that I won't mention, that they'll kill your dog and your cat and serve it to you when you come in there and order some fried rice. Yeah! Yeah! But ain't nobody raised a damn fist. Keep telling y'all. I keep telling you. I say things for a reason. Do you know that there's a YouTube channel out there? He films stuff. He parked behind one of those neighborhood restaurants. And a group of guys that work in the kitchen went out the back door of that restaurant, went across a vacant lot. They were gone for maybe about 45 minutes or so. They came back entering the back door of that restaurant with garbage bags. Garbage bags, people, coming into the back door of the restaurant where they work. The kitchen is right off the back door. Now, before you hold your mouth and your other end, think about this the next time when you go sit down in a restaurant, or order takeout, What you don't really know about the takeout is it was already taken out, taken from outside. Yeah! Bon appetit. You're welcome. You can Google it on YouTube. Good morning. I said I want to have a great show this morning, huh? Yeah. That's right, Tay-Tay. Before you hold, and I said it, before you hold your mouth, because you know it might come up that way, and before you hold your rear end, because it's going to come out that way. Yeah, think about it. And they right there in your neighborhood. In your neighborhood, huh? What the hell they doing there? They don't live there, right? What they doing there, huh? But they'll run you out of their neighborhood, huh? Call the cops on you and everything. What are you doing here, ninja? You could be the mailman, huh? You could be the UPS guy, the FedEx guy, Amazon guy, huh? They don't want you there. Mm-hmm. Y'all ready to talk some boxing yet? Huh? I keep telling you, every day is a fight. It's a battle. And some of y'all's losing. Yeah. Some of y'all losing, huh? Some of y'all got that Joe Joyce eye stigmatism, huh? Can't see clearly. You need the sensei to open them up for you, huh? But see, I can open your eye up for you, but I'm just going to do like the referee. He can't. I'm waving it off. Good morning. How y'all doing? Oh, some of y'all had some of that food last night. Your stomach should be bubbling. Just remember that term takeout, huh? You didn't even know why it was called that, did you? Huh? It is so representative of so many different things, huh? You buy, you don't eat there, you take it home, right? That's takeout, huh? They go out in your vacant lots and scour and bring stuff back into the back door to the kitchen. That's taken out, right? Huh? You eat it, consume it, feed it to your children and everything, and it take y'all out. Yeah! You're welcome. I'm sorry, Kwee, but you know you have to get the real deal when you come around here. Huh? You get the real deal. I don't mean to ruin lunch, but Adari, Isaiah, I see y'all out there. See, if you had that valuable commodity like G5, huh? You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff, huh? Don't have to worry about it. Let that be somebody else's problem, huh? See, there's lessons to be learned everywhere. Sometimes when you want to mete out those lessons, you have to be able to capture attention first. Huh? Capture the attention. And you don't have to drill things. Just a little eye opener, huh? Just a little bit of an eye opener. Because people going to do what they're going to do. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to behave like they're going to behave. And it's going to be what it's going to be. Just know that. So with that being said, allow me to open up the phone lines. Yeah. We open them up. Take some calls in. Let's talk some boxing. Let's talk about what happened yesterday to Slow Joe, huh? Let's talk about Zhang, huh? And the might of China. Yeah. See how the world is moving and shifting? You guys don't even see it. It's happening right before your eyes. But hey, you know what I mean? What do I always say? Everybody ain't gonna make it, huh? Yeah. We got a few of y'all in the building. Come on. What you got to talk about? You Ryan Garcia lovers, you Tank Davis lovers, call on in. Let's talk. Newfound Zili Zhang supporters, call in. Those who want to pile on Joe Joyce, though he can't see you. He can't see where you're coming from. Just like he couldn't see where those left southpaw fists were coming from last night. Hey, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Game Duck Kennels, try again. I just tested it. It's working fine. Try again. Dwayne Jones, what's good with you? All right, we got 713 in the building. Who's calling? What's on your mind? Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on, Stormy? This is Jermaine Bean calling from Houston.
What's going on? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. It was good night last night, man, checking out that heavyweight bout. But Friday, when I seen the weigh-in, it didn't ring a lot of bells to a lot of people. But with Joyce dropping 25 pounds to fight this big man that's 280 pounds that can crack,
yeah,
that was a red flag, super red flag. But, I know that kind of went under the radar. A lot of people was, applauding Joe Joyce about, how good a shape he in. Joyce always been in shape. He always had an engine. Why mess with the weight? I didn't understand that. What was your thoughts on, seeing the weight in before the fight?
Well, I wasn't, excuse me, I wasn't really aware of what Zhang's normal weigh-in is, what he usually comes in about. But I will say that Joyce would have been better off coming in at that weight that he came in against Parker for this particular fight. But apparently he wanted to be in a, apparently what it tells me was that he wasn't in the best of shape for Parker, right? But he was still able to deal with Parker. But that weight would have served him better in this fight, just to be able to deal with the strength and mass of Zhang. But what was really exposed more than anything was Joyce's lack of boxing ability. That was really glaring because Joyce has a very good jab, but that doesn't necessarily make him a good boxer, because George Foreman had a good jab, but he got beat by Ali, who was a master boxer. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And Zhang can box. He's a southpaw, and he's strong. So he has at least 3 tiers of something to contend with, that if you can't deal with any of those as an isolated entity, you're not going to have a chance to beat him at all. Now,
absolutely,
it showed in last night's fight, which you don't know these things until guys get put in the situation. See, when they're in against guys that they on paper they should beat, and we've been fed so much of that we buy into certain individuals being a little bit better than we thought they were. And that's the promoter's game. But it shouldn't be the fighter's game, and it shouldn't be the fight supporter's game. Because a fighter, I don't want you lying to me as a fighter. If I'm a fighter, I don't want you lying to me. I want to get the best of training that I can get, and I want my people who are handling my career to put me on a path of where I can learn as I grow and develop, and hopefully one day I can aspire to be a champion. I should not have it in my mind that I'm going to be the champ one day and I ain't done nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Think about the privilege of a lot of fighters of today. They think that because there's 5 titles out there, they earn the right to be a champion one day.
Yeah.
Participation trophy syndrome strikes because when you were in school and they had a contest, you had a winner, everybody else lost. Now they let you have consolations that even if you didn't win, you're a winner for participating. Bull crap.
Yeah.
The whole idea of having the separation between that was the winning entity and that lost is to provide you with the incentive, the drive to be better and to shoot for winning, not to just participate. And that's become the U.S. mindset. The U.S., I said it, the country, because this is what it is. It's the privilege of those who have enjoyed authoritative power and had this over other people who were either equally as good or if not better, but they smite that because they still want to maintain a lofty position over someone else. And it has matriculated down into community and society. And now society actually operates under that auspice that, you know what? I'm still a winner. That's why you got with Kevin Samuels when he was talking about the ladies and he was rating them and he told that one woman she was average at best and people jumped on him or whatever. But it's like, how can a woman that's 350 pounds and bursting at the seams and everything, and she don't even wash under her armpits? I'm not trying to be gross, but how can that person say, well, I'm still a 10 in my mind?
Hey, that's what the public say they deserve. You know, they caught her, they hold. You know, that's what they try to do to this generation. But when I seen Joyce, I thought maybe he would, like the video you were showing, the highlights with Wilder bouncing around,
yes,
you know, training, moving.
Yes.
Wilder actually showed that in the Helenius fight.
Yes.
Not staying in one place, he was bouncing. He was actually performing everything that he was training.
Utilizing his athleticism, gifts that he has. It's just a reminder of you're able to do these things. There are some people who are not able to do what Wilder's doing in the video. But the whole point, and I'm glad you mentioned it because, see, you get it. I put it up there for a reason.
Joyce gonna be Joyce's game plan since he came in lighter.
Exactly. It should have been. It should have been, shouldn't it? But he went right back out there being the robot, huh? And the robot got socked. Yeah.
Yep. But that goes to show you the trainer that he have, Ishmael Salas, all he knows is one way of coaching. That's it. It's just one way. Hey, we just gonna throw as many punches. I don't have to be defensively responsible. I don't have to have no footwork, no lateral movement. It's just, you know, it's a recipe for disaster. But, you know, this ain't the end of the world for Joyce. You know, Joyce can actually, you know, get with a different trainer. He maybe can go to you know, Malik Scott. He probably can open up some doors and, hey, man, welcome them in.
Listen,
but, you know,
I talk about it.
Back and be counted and let, you know, the same training, the same philosophy, the same mindset with Ishmael Salas, he's going to get the same result. Because if they do have a rematch, which in fact, Joyce is going to, probably sometime this week or next week, going to say he wants the rematch. And hopefully it be more of a difference with his weight. He can stay at the same weight if he want to come in at 250 rather than 275. But if that game plan, I'm just going to bulldoze over everybody, that's not going to work. It's going to work till it don't work.
Yep. And
I would like to see, this ain't the, I want to see now let's see what Joe Joyce really made of. Let's see if he can really get up and come back and, he don't lose his mind like AJ. Let's see if he's mentally tough like Wilder to say, hey, I'll fight you 3-4 times. If that's the case. Now let's see. Now let's see who your real friends is, because now this one everybody gonna show their true colors.
Well, yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, well, yeah, and this is the other thing about it. When I talked about the fight, pre-fight breakdown and post-fight breakdown, I talk about, and this is not just for this fight, but for most fights. The guy who's the smarter guy is typically going to be the one who comes out on top. It don't matter about the big ass punch you got or whatever. That can come into play once every blue moon when you have a fighter like Mike Tyson who can get in there. If he get his shot off on you quick and catch you quick and early, he can get you out of there. But that's not the fighters of today. So the smarter guy is usually going to be the one who is victorious. And guess what? Zhang was the smarter guy last night. He was.
Yep.
He used his skills. But also behind the skills that he possessed, he utilized technique. And once he recognized that this guy don't know how to fight a southpaw, the fight was over. The fight was over as soon as Zhang realized that the guy couldn't stop the southpaw left hand. And he threw it frequent, didn't he? And it landed frequent, didn't he? And the results piled up quickly, didn't it? And the fight was over fast, wasn't it?
Man, it was immediate and in present danger.
You see?
The ring of the first bell.
Zhang wasn't in there playing around. But he realized, oh, this is working. Oh, he ain't going to move his head. Oh, I'm landing cleanly. Oh, let me keep throwing it. Oh, the fight is over.
And he took his time. He didn't rush. He just let off the shots at will whenever he wanted to. He just let them have it.
It reminds me of
round
something
after
that
round.
Lennox Lewis said after one of his fights, and I don't even remember who it was he was fighting. But Lennox Lewis he had fought someone who had a pretty good ability to take a punch. I don't remember which fight it was right now. There's so many fights in my head. But when he was being interviewed in the post-fight by Larry Merchant, they were asking him, it was like, well, what did you think of, the guy, whatever. And Lennox said, well, he took a good punch. He was like, okay, be a tough guy. Here's some more then. Lennox's ideology was, okay, you could take a punch, but I'm going to keep hitting you because I have a punch. I'm either going to keep hitting you and I'm going to go to a decision and win because I hit you with so many, or I'm going to hit you with enough that eventually it's going to break through, break you down, and that's going to be it. I remember when Evander Holyfield was going into his first fight with Mike Tyson. They were asking him, what about Tyson's power? He was like, I'm not worried about Tyson's power. I got power too. He said, they said, well, what if he doesn't knock, I think he said, what if you don't knock Tyson out? And he said, well, if I don't knock him out, it's just going to be a long drawn out fight and I still get the victory. That was Evander Holyfield's mindset. You see, that's what a real championship caliber fighter has within his mind. Remember, I said, the smarter guy is typically going to prevail.
Absolutely, and that never fails each and every time, unless you just have that God gift right hand that you can just blast somebody out of there to change the fight. And for the most part, Joe Joyce haven't really fought anybody that has that danger. The Joseph Parkers, the Takams, they don't possess that, hey, I can, rearrange your face. That type of power. That's, going there, hey, I'm going to be aggressive, and I'm going to lay hands and feet on this man. And,
Right.
you know, that was a wake-up call to a lot of people in the division. If that's all you have is plan A, you don't have a plan B, C, or D, you know, it's only so far you can go. You know, that same fate that happened to Pandora, you know, and it can happen to a lot of guys.
Right.
But, you know, I just want to see where Joe Joyce go from here. You know, it ain't the end of the world, but we're going to see, you know, exactly what you made of now. Now, let's see what you made of. Let's see if you can get back there, build yourself back up, and get right back to the smoke.
Yeah,
You know,
and that's what it's all about.
You know, hey, yep.
Let me get to this super chat real quick. We had our brother Drew Titan, LLC, out there in the super chat. He says, Joyce already said he may take a fight in between. Salute to you, Drew Titan. Thank you for your super chat, brother. Hey, and if he does take a fight in between, there's not a problem with that.
Train.
Get back on the horse. You know what I mean? But for people who think that just a guy's size and power and things like that, listen, it takes more. You have to have multiple layers to be a complete fighter. And a lot of these guys haven't reached completion yet because they haven't been put under the circumstances to allow them to show what they know. You know what I mean? It's like a guy getting hurt. Some guys don't know. Tie a man up, kill some time, buy time, even if you have to take a knee, whatever. But it's like you don't know until you get put into those circumstances, you know? And once a guy's put into a circumstance, then that is a new layer that, okay, he passed a certain test here or whatever. Not enough guys have had that. Go ahead, bro.
See, I know if Joe Joyce, he do want to get a tune-up bout, because I think the WBO is third in line to fight Usyk.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, so it'll be a while before that fight, you know, is mandated for him to fight Usyk. So he got some time if he want to have an interim bout, you know, with somebody else. But that combination with Ismail Salas, it just seemed weird. Like, if you're going to come over here to Las Vegas and get a trainer, why go to Ismail Salas' gym? That I never understood that.
Well,
you know, communication, you know, is not all the way there because of the language barrier, even though Ismail can speak English. But, man, you got to get with your people. I would like to see him go to Detroit and get with Jonathan Banks. You know, I know he probably can't train with Sugar Hill because, you know, him and Fury might run a course in the future. But he can get with Jonathan Banks. He can get with Malik Scott. But that combination of Salas and Joyce, that was bad from the get-go, and I'm not sure why Frank Warren, you know, didn't probably intervene and say, hold on, let's take a step back here. You know, if you're going to go to America, try to get with the best style that can help you with a big man. I never seen Ismail Salas can't even hit the mitts with Joe Joyce because he's like 5'1". So to me, if you're going to get a bout in between, hey, go get you some new training, get some new ideas, get a new vision, and you come, let's see some changes. Let's see a different Joe Joyce. You know, let's see a different Joe Joyce in you know, as you build yourself back up to a Zane rematch. Who would you like to see for him, you know, if he come back over here to Las Vegas or wherever in America to train?
Well, this is the funny thing about that. First of all, Silas being a small man, that doesn't have anything to do with him being able to train Joe Joyce. And you mentioned the pads. That's one of the worst things you can mention to me because I'm not an advocate of the pad work. I'm not. I'm very old school when it comes down to that. The pads are so far down on the system of my philosophy with boxing. It's just, it might as well not even be on the list. If you go back and watch, and I mentioned this yesterday on the show, on my post-fight, if you go back and watch old film of George Foreman when he was training to fight Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, he had Dick Sadler holding the punching bag for him. Dick Sadler was a very small man, and George Foreman was a very big man. And Sadler was so small when Foreman was hitting the bag, Sadler was swinging around like the bag was swinging around because George was so strong. But you saw George Foreman still became the heavyweight champion of the world. Knocked Joe Frazier down 25,000 times. Knocked Ken Norton out in 2 rounds. You know what I'm saying? Beat 5 men on one night, you know, in the ring. George Foreman versus the Fabulous Five. Fought life and death with Ron Lyle. Got outboxed and outsmarted by one of the greatest of all time in Muhammad Ali, but came back 10 years after a layoff and knocked out Michael Moore at the age of 45. Come on! You understand?
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
the size of the trainer don't really, listen, I don't know how long he's been with Silas. I haven't followed Joe Joyce like that. But what I do know that they have film now of him looking really bad. The real teaching begins now. I'm of the belief that you can teach before you get to that point that he got to last night, but you can't cry over spilled milk. The real teaching starts now. Can he improve upon that performance that he gave yesterday against Zili Zhang? And will he? That is the question on the table. Deontay Wilder lost to Tyson Fury, although I feel that there were some underlying circumstances that created the losses, but yet and still, he still went out and got someone that can implement a philosophy for him to utilize the gifts that he has. Just like in this film that I got playing of him right now, the clip, the mobility, the fluidity, the athleticism, the speed. These are things that just after knocking people out because he has the right hand of God to do so, he got away from those kind of things. But to be able to have the nature and the mindset to say, let me change, let me adapt, let me make some adjustments. That's where true learning begins. So we can grant Joe Joyce the opportunity to show that as well. And if he comes out and he still lays the eggs that he laid yesterday, so be it. And we know that a man has lived within his limits. But if he's able to make the adjustments and do better, you have to give him the credit for doing that as well. But again, that remains to be seen. But in order for someone to do it, they have to be accepting that there was something wrong in the first place. How about that?
Absolutely, man. I appreciate the call. I appreciate you letting me on, man. And Joe, if you're listening, hey, this is what we want to see what you made of, man, where you go from here, and just keep going forward. Don't let it break you down. Accept the criticism, learn from it, and just try to keep improving. But I appreciate you, Stormy. I'm going to get off here. I'm going to let somebody else call in.
Yes, sir. And what was your name again?
Jermaine Bean, Houston, Texas.
Jermaine, do you have a name in the chat? Is that your same name?
Yeah, it's Jermaine Bean. Yeah, I'm going to jump back in the chat now.
Okay, I appreciate your call, man, and don't be a stranger. Feel free to call again, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, appreciate you, bro. Later.
All right.
All right, that was a great first call, man. Great first call. Someone else was trying to call when I had received Jermaine's call. So whomever that was, if you want to try to call back again now, the line is open. I can't take a call while I got a call because I don't have multiple calls on this system. So whomever that was that tried to call earlier, go ahead and try again. And we'll readily receive your call. But I can only take one call at a time. So, but man, that was a great call. Great points that Jermaine brought up on here, and that's what it's all about. This is why we have to talk like we do, about the sport. And salute to my brother. Scrapbook Boxing is out there this morning. How you doing, Scrapbook? Good to see you this morning. Peace to you, bro. Scrapbook says, I just walked in on the pad work comment. I never agreed with pad work. It's overhyped. You can punch that way. You can't punch that way in a real fight with the real fighter. Peace, my brother, and chat. Thank you, Scrapbook. See, I told you, I'm old school, man. I'm old school. I wouldn't even have focus mitts in the gym. Huh? they can serve a purpose, but not what was glorified by Floyd Mayweather. And I think that Floyd and Roger, they gave you guys a false sense of things when they were doing what they were doing with those drills and everything, because people adopted that and felt like, okay, that can make you a great boxer. You got little kids doing pad work, not 10, 12 years old, doing pad work with each other. That don't mean nothing. That kid coming in and the bell ring for a fight and the guy punch him in the nose, he gonna go crying home to his daddy. Yeah. So just know, you know what I mean? Shakers and dice, what's good with you? See, anytime you can have someone like Scrapbook Boxing come out and sign off on that, then you know it's legitimate what I'm saying. Not that you need legitimacy, but you guys have to open your minds up to when someone is telling you something. It may feel funny. It may feel strange. You might not even like it. But understand that somebody is giving you facts. Someone is providing you with something real. Because if it feels too good, if it's too smooth, if it's too pleasant, be aware, because somebody is looking to get over on you. And that's how it's done, especially in the society of today. They want to impose you to be relaxed, to take it, instead of rail against it. Yeah. Wind endurance. Dwayne Jones says, stop having these Euro dudes getting trainers to sell them the secret sauce. Ha. Interesting point, Dwayne Jones. Interested. Yeah. Yeah, so the line is open. You guys can call in again. Whomever that was that tried to call, what was that? Big Game Kennels. If you out there, Gamed Up Kennels. Excuse me. If that was you, go ahead and call back, bro. Go ahead and call back. Scrapbook, if you want to call, go ahead and call in, bro. We can get Scrapbook on here. Get my music going again. I like to cut the music off when I have a call. But I'll tell you something, when you see, fighters like Joe Joyce lost that fight because he couldn't get out of the way of those left hands. Isn't that horrible? He didn't lose the fight because he was just, in one sense of boxing, outboxed. He lost the fight because he wouldn't move his head. Similar to your boy Danny Dubois in his performance. Okay, we got my man G5 Gabe in the building. What's good with you, brother? Welcome to the show. Good morning. What's on your mind?
Salute to the Sensei Stormybman. You been up here cooking, boy. You cooking with kerosene up here this morning, man. I hear you up here, man. I'm enjoying the show.
That's right, man. That's right. I'm burning everything down in boxing that don't belong, bro. I'm just a pyromaniac up in here this morning.
Yeah. Hey, you setting forest fires in this joint like California. They got calling all the firefighter units, and they still can't put their joint out.
That's right, so, man.
But let's talk some boxing. Speaking of Joe Joyce, man, there's levels to it. Now, they always say, you'll see the character of how a fighter is really defined when they take their first loss. Now, will we see him have a mindset as a Deontay Wilder where, with other entities and that played a part until you lose, had taken a loss. But do you have a strong enough mind, a strong enough will? Do you have the mental and intestinal fortitude to be like a quarterback after they throw an interception? Okay, I might throw an interception, but that don't mean I'm done.
Right.
So that's what we look for to see with Joe Joyce. If not, they just gonna roll that beautiful bean footage back on him, and people just gonna start to pick him apart, and they gonna find a way to beat him. So it's up to his trainer if he does need to go a different route or add somebody else into his camp to help implement more things, then do that. That don't mean that the trainer you have now has to go, but he needs some more wrinkles. Just a consistent jab, that's cool, but it's more to just being a good boxer than jabbing. It's about feints, punch placement, footwork. You know what I'm saying? Transition from offense to defense. Like people think, oh, he can punch, he can throw a pretty jab. That means he can box. No, he just has a good jab. Boxing is more than just a punch.
Right.
You can be a good boxer without even throwing a punch.
Yeah.
It's about how you move in the ring generalship. Just knowing situational matchups. If you got a big puncher, then you need to smother him. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to box with him. Hey, go ahead and smother his work.
Absolutely. And I said that a moment ago. Yeah, I said that a moment ago. When I talked about, just because Joe Joyce has a great jab, that doesn't make him a great boxer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because I talked about him not getting his head off center line. Mm-hmm. When you don't get your head off of center line, you're going to have problems, because when you talk about the sweet science breaks down to something as simple as this. And I think I had written something similar in your chat when you were talking the other day. When the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So if your head is on center line, I can hit you because it's right there. Mm-hmm. Right. When you take it off center line, what happens is I have to look for you. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Which means that you may be in a position now to have an advantage because you're taking it off center line and I have to look for you. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be where I look. You understand? So you see how it becomes a science? Now, I'll take you into something similar to prove the point of what I'm talking about. I talked about this the other day, too, on my stream, when fighters in the gym, like I got this clip of Deontay and Malik in the ring right now playing. Usually there's a drill that you can put in there for fighters where you tie a rope from one end of the ring post to the opposite end of the ring post, where you split the ring like in a diagonal, right? And you have a guy and he stands on one side of that rope. If he's orthodox, the rope is usually over his right shoulder. And the drill is he shoots punches, 1, 2, slip under the rope, come up, 1, 2. Yeah. And then you slip under the rope and go back over to the original side, 1, 2, all the while stepping ahead. It's like a bob and weave thing, right? Now, that's the basic drill for moving the head, huh? That's basic. Bob, weave, bob, weave. Now, the other one happens to be you can shoot a jab, you can shoot a double jab, and you start with the rope on your left side if you're orthodox. On the left side of your shoulder, you shoot the jab and you slip under that rope where your head is now on the left side. You understand? Mm-hmm. Now, that's to practice the muscle memory of being able to slip a punch to the outside. When you can slip a punch to the outside, it's more difficult for the opponent to try to set you up with certain shots because you're not always moving the same way. Most fighters will dip to the right if you're orthodox. They dip to the right. Well, you could be timed dipping to the right Because I can feint you into that position, I can punch you into that position, or I could just await you to move in that position and make a reaction off of that. That's 3 ways that I can handle that. But how many ways do I have to be prepared to handle it if you're doing a simple movement of slipping your head on the outside? You see? This is the sweet science. And I talk about these things because I talk about trainers not really drilling certain aspects of what boxing is. And these are the simple things. They're very simple. And you can tell who practices and who doesn't because it's something that happens and takes place naturally in the ring. I can point out one fighter today who does it. And it's not that I'm raining praises, but it's off of the observation. Shakur Stevenson, he does it. He does it. And he showed it most recently. But he ain't the only one. But I just use that as an example. But I like to tell people, go back and look at, especially when it comes down to the big heavyweights, go back and look at Larry Holmes. Watch his fight with Ken Norton. A tremendous classic. 15-round championship fight where he actually was fighting with a bad arm, Larry Holmes. So and Ken Norton had a strong jab, was kind of like unorthodox in his manner of how he drug his right leg behind him and would throw these overhand rights and stuff and throw these hooks. Well, Larry Holmes was slipping punches on the outside, but from the left, and not only slipping those punches, shooting his jab and circling Ken Norton in a clockwise manner, but every once in a while shooting a combination and going back to his right, counterclockwise, so that Ken Norton couldn't just trap him one way. So you got to be versed in being able to move left and right. But left, if you're orthodox, is supposed to be a natural way to turn a guy in the ring. But you have to also know how to turn the guy to the right. It doesn't matter if he's a great southpaw or has a great southpaw punch like Zhang had against Joe Joyce, because Joyce's head was on center line. But look at how George Foreman knocked out Michael Moorer. He set him up the whole time. Set him up with a straight punch down the middle to Michael Moore's chin. You understand? But Teddy Atlas, who was telling Michael Moore the entire fight, circled the other way because he's trying to set you up with a shot. Be a sports car. Be fast in there because he's an old truck and he's trying to get you to go his pace. Michael Moore was so stubborn, wasn't listening to Teddy Atlas. And even to this day, is still ornery and don't want to acknowledge that he did the wrong thing. There's nothing wrong with saying, I messed up. Because when you say that, you release things into the universe and allow something positive to come into you. But if you want to hold on to the misinformation where you failed, that's where you will remain. Do you understand? This man got knocked out by a former heavyweight champion that was 45 years old. After a 10-year layoff, he comes back into boxing and he takes your titles away from you because you were too ornery to listen to your trainer. You see? Wilder, who has knocked everybody he's fought on their ass, if not out, went out and got a guy to help him get better, get more versatile, utilizing gifts that he has naturally. He's not trying to give Wilder nothing he don't already have or isn't already able to do, but trying to shore it up and get him better and let him know that you have the ability to do so much more. I've often talked about Wilder because he's a country strong man. I said that he can punch equally as hard with his left that he can his right. It's just that it was never presented to him that way. Don't be surprised if he started knocking people out with lefts, because it's there. It is there for him to do these things. When you can punch, you can punch, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, Sensei, let's not forget. Remember, before the first Fury fight, he got in that motorcycle accident. And what did he do? He dropped him. Well, he really knocked him out with the left.
Yeah.
But, you know, he had the assistance to get up. That was the left hand. People remember. He didn't want to use his right hand to camp because he hurt it.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah.
Like, these are facts that you can go back and pull the video footage and all that stuff up. He had the marks and stuff. He got burned on it and everything. He didn't want to waste it. It hurt. He said, at least if I'm going to use it, I'm going to get paid doing it. You see what I'm saying? So,
and I forgot all about that, but
with the left.
I forgot all about that. But so what what I'm saying, it's true. I'm saying I don't say these things because I'm just having a conversation point. No, I say it because there's gravity in what I'm talking about here, bro. Yeah.
You speaking all facts, and I understand what you're saying. Like when it comes to Wilder, it takes y'all gotta understand when a person is used to dropping and stopping everybody, people can get somewhat in a form of complacent. Not just him, the people you don't really want to be complacent is the trainers. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they can say, well, Mark Greenland said he didn't want to, why did he want to do this or do that? Okay. Well, we don't know. We can't prove that. But what we can see improve in the ring, that the boxing acumen wasn't added to it like that. That don't mean that you didn't teach it, but it wasn't received. So you have to be able to be a trainer that your teaching is able to be understood and digested. You know what I'm saying? So the fighter can actually go do that. If the fighter's not responding to your command, it's not going to happen. That's why I got to be a level of respect there and an understanding there. And whatever it was, he didn't digest it from breathing. We seen the same stuff and it worked. So credit to breathing for helping him get to that point. But there was a lot of meat left on the bone when it comes to Wilder and his talent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's something that Malik Scott is tapped into. Like, do you know how much dangerous you'll be if you just start outboxing people and then they get caught with a no-look bomb that they don't see?
Yep.
Because then they don't know how to prepare for you. It's like a dual threat quarterback. He can throw well, but if the pocket collapses, he can take off and use his legs too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You don't know what to prepare for.
Versatility.
Is he going to out-throw me, or is he going to put 100 yards on the ground on me and 200 in the air? See what I'm saying? That's why I keep saying that was Tank Davis, for example. If he just outbox people like crazy and then go knock them out, they won't know what to do with that man, because he has the power of both hands. And if you start to outbox people like Shakur and Haney is doing, and then you set them up for a trap, for a bomb, they don't know what to do. People will be in their head spinning, trying to figure out, how am I going to stop this dude? And he got a beard on. He can take a punch too. So that's what I look for. The power punches. You don't have to be the best boxer, but have the boxing technique down packed to where you can go in and make it turn some people. Like, and I agree with you on the Larry Holmes thing. Is like he was able to turn people.
Yeah.
With a jab, double, triple, single, turn you, and then turn you some more, and then hit you with some flush, jab, reset, turn you some more, to the point where you don't know which way he's gonna go with you. He's gonna turn you to the left, he's gonna turn you to the right, but his jab was so crisp that he was gonna touch you with it. That's why when people talk about jabs, I'm younger, but I always go do my homework. How did we get here? How did the fighters that we watch today get here? They sampled Holmes and Ali and all these great guys. So, no, you cooking up here on some facts. So I understand what you're saying. So when you be going in and giving these history lessons, you and the good brother OG Scrapbook, that's my guy, man. Told y'all taught me a lot. The Three Wise Men put me on a lot of games years back. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know, y'all may want to go catch some of those cooks, man. Because rest in peace to the OG guy, Kurt Sugar, man, for Stormy. Kurt and Scrapbook was up here cooking. They still cooking now, but man, that was man, y'all better go do y'all homework. So
yeah, and the whole thing about it is this: there is no secret here. There is no secret. the information is readily available for anyone who wants to immerse themselves in it, to absorb it. But the stubbornness of man, the ego of man, who has a nature about himself from time to time that says, I know better, is what causes someone to be in a predicament where they can be at a disadvantage. You look at going into that fight yesterday, everything that how it kind of played up was, oh, Joe Joyce got himself in much better shape. He must be looking to move and box and present Zhang with some issues and looking to, take him to school, so to speak. He fought nothing like that. The only thing he did was get in better shape, the shape he should have been in against Joseph Parker. That's what he should have done. But off of the Parker win, going in against such a big guy, and Zhang is really a big guy because at 6'6" and damn near 300 pounds, it is what he was. Okay, he can box, he can punch, and then he's a southpaw. That's a trifecta there of circumstances that if you're going into about to train against him, you have to have a game plan, okay? Because you're going to get hit at some point by the big guy like that. The idea is not to get hit too much, too frequent. Now, to offset his awkwardness of southpaw, you have to be able to know what to do to a southpaw. Okay, you have to know which direction to move. You have to know which direction to keep your head off center line on a regular basis. And then lastly, your own boxing plan. How are you going to attack and things like that? Well, when you take a fighter like Wilder, and some people will say, well, he's so much bigger than Wilder, he's going to give Wilder a lot of problems. Well, the great thing on paper is this. Wilder has the one punch that a southpaw dreads. That's a right hand. It's like, and if Zhang get hit by one, it could be over. Wilder don't have to worry about getting hit by one of Zhang's. What he would have to worry about is not allowing Zhang to use the strength of the weight against him. So guess what he has to offset that? Speed. Guess what else he has to offset that? Agility, mobility. Okay? So now you're talking about, okay, it's what I bring against what you bring, and then remember what I said about it at the end of the day. The man who is the smartest guy is typically going to be the one that has the most advantage toward winning. It's as simple as that. That's why it's called a science, sweet science. It's not called bludgeoning. It's not called KOing. It's called boxing. Why boxing? Because within the square jungle, there are circumstances that you have to sort out. Problems, circumstances that are presented that each opponent facing one another have to sort out. Boxing, taking all the variables that you are capable of executing in there within 12 rounds or less. You bring your science, I bring mine, and we come to an impasse where one of us is going to prevail against the other, because if I'm as adept as what I need to do from my end and you are as adept at what you can do from your end, we got to solve some problems here. And who's going to come out on top? Middle. You see? A sweet science, bro. Has nothing to do with physicality, has everything to do with psychology.
That's why you give add on to that too, OG. If they would have called it a sweet fight, if it didn't cause IQ, or you'd actually have used intellect, because science you have to be smart.
There you go.
Think they call it the sweet science?
There you go.
Because you have to have a strategy. Think about war. Nobody goes into a war and attacks just right off the muscle with no strategy or no plan. Because you never know what you're walking yourself into. Everybody always has a plan or a strategy before they attack. That's just art of war 101. You got to be prepared. You got to download intel to know what your opponents have or what they coming with. You know, so it's called a sweet science for a reason. But OG, somebody want to say something to you.
Who's that?
Hey, Stormy.
Hey, what's going on with you, Queen? What you got cooking over there?
What you got cooking?
I have some bacon in the oven, and I'm about to fry some eggs and make a BLT with a fried egg on the sandwich.
Woo! Listen, that make my toes curl up. And I done had breakfast already. I had this morning. I fried me some corned beef hash and had an omelet with some cheese. So I'm good.
And I'm gonna put it on a sweet Hawaiian bun.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about.
That's what he about to eat in just a few minutes because it's almost done.
Okay. Well, don't let me hold you up, G5. You know, it's a lot better.
You good?
Lot better going on over there than over here.
All right. You good. I had to call in. She's like, she wanted to holler at it. Like, when I saw that the guy Stormy, I said, oh, yeah. Hold on. I don't want to interrupt you. So whenever you get to talking again, let me holler at Stormy. I'm like, touche.
Okay, that's all good.
Saying, though, it's called sweet science for a reason. And I want people to, that's why I laugh when people are like, oh, wow, that's not a smart fighter or all this. I'm like, the person with the least amount of experience and probably the best accolades in, record, started late, got a bronze medal. That person's not smart. No, that person is actually smarter than probably your favorite fighter.
Mm-hmm.
With less time, less tools, and less muscle memory of boxing. Let's remember, some of these people been boxing since they were 5, 7, 9, 10 years old. Now they 30, 32, 25.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's 15 years. Like, that's a career for some people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they have muscle memory. Muscle memory is key as well, because the longer you do something, you can do it with your eyes closed, y'all.
Right.
Once you learn how to box well and you know how to move, you can blindfold these dudes. I guarantee you, and they still can move around the ring. That's how good people get with the muscle memory, because it's about movement, placement. Man, they know exactly where they're going. They can move around that ring with a blindfold on. So,
or it's like this. I give you a more simple analogy. Check this out. You living in your home. The power goes out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not a light anywhere, but it's your home. So you kind of know how to navigate the room, right? You know where certain furniture is and everything, and you got to get to the fuse box, right? But somebody who come into your home, you gone out of town, it's nighttime, the lights may be off. They going to go in your home, they going to trip over stuff, they going to knock stuff over. They don't know where the light switch is because they don't know the environment. Which is really foolish of people to try to enter a domicile that they don't belong and it's someone else's and everything. But that just goes to show the psychology of a person who would do that, breaking and entering. But that's a perfect analogy, because when you know the environment or the landscape, yeah, you can put a blindfold on me. You can have me close my eyes, but I can feel my way through because I know where everything is, because I'm familiar with the landscape, huh? But when it's unfamiliar, you're going to trip, you're going to bump your head, you're going to stub your toe, you're going to, get messed up, break something, all of that, because it's unfamiliar to you, huh? That's what it comes down to. Yeah.
Are you comfortable in which the style you try to present? Do you have the muscle memory? If you don't, you're gonna look a fool. Just like somebody first time putting on a pair of skates. They trying to find and get that balance and that stability first. Can't go race with the kids zooming around the roller rink when you don't even have your balance right shit. So,
man, I remember my first time putting on some skates, bro. I thought I was gonna bust everything. I was like, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like skating, early on. I just didn't like it because I had a hard time with learning to skate. For me, it was a very difficult time. But, yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
I'm going to get out the way, OG, let somebody else call in, speak their piece, man. Good chop up, dropping gems as usual. Since they keep doing your thing, man, I will fall back in the chat.
All right, man. I appreciate you, man, and don't be a stranger. Make sure you call again, and don't eat too much over there, man. Don't like I said, if I live closer, you know where I would be, ringing the doorbell. So
man, we'll have a play up here waiting for you. One thing I'm gonna do, man, I'm gonna drop good content. I'm gonna eat good.
I know that's right.
Not everybody else. I'm gonna eat good. So blessings to everybody in the chat. I'm gonna fall back in, man.
All right, man. Peace to y'all. Take care, man.
Peace.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. That was my man G5 out there. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. Yeah. We got time for another call if somebody else want to call in, but it's been pretty much this morning so far been a very good call in. I had said, put it out there. I wanted it to be a great day for the call in show, and you guys have not disappointed thus far. It's been great. It's been great. Jose Diaz, I see you out there. Say you were fishing with your dad, huh? That's what's up, man. Spend that quality time. Shade Girl, what's going on with you? I hear you out there listening and driving, huh? Okay. Jose Diaz says, I've seen a lot of boxers that have a plan. When the fight day comes, they don't pay attention. Get off course. Yeah, a lot of them do. Those are the ones that really don't have a plan. Kamara, the stepping razor out there saying salute to the sensei in the chat. Appreciate you. Yeah. Okay. We got my brother Drew Titan in the building. What's going on with you, bro? How you doing this morning?
I'm moving and shaking. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking the kids somewhere. Got some stuff to do. So I'm like, you know what? I'm on this Cross Bronx Expressway. I had to call in.
It's all good, bro. Good to hear from you, man. Y'all be safe out there.
Man. Absolutely. So let's talk about it. I did my post video yesterday when I came home. Man, look, man, it salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to G5 and Jermaine Bean. Salute to everybody. Scrapbook. Salute y'all. Listen, let's talk about it, man. Look, Joe Joyce. Let's talk about the good. He's big as hell. Good. A natural athlete for that size. Good. Strong guy. Very good. He has what I thought was pretty good timing. But yesterday, he looked like he just laced up a pair of gloves like last week. And that is disturbing. That is disturbing. If you bet on Big Bang Zang, you kicked off last night. You kicked off. Joe Joyce last night, dare I say, he might have lost to Anthony Joshua last night. He might have. Now, whether it's the southpaw thing, probably. But the fact that he lacked the ability to make an adjustment. Now, I didn't hear the corner. You would have to tell me what the corner was like. I don't know what the hell was going on. But this guy gets insulted when you don't punch him in the face. And I did say on more than one occasion, I said, when Joe Joyce finally loses, it's either going to be by decision or it's going to be by bad cuts or a bad swelling. And here we go. Here we are. But people may not know or they don't remember, Usyk beat him, I believe, in the amateurs. And when I heard that, I said, well, it can't be because, you know, he muscled him. Usyk boxed his head in. And it's not that the map is out on him. It's not that, you know, he's been exposed. He is who he is. He finally ran into somebody that'll capitalize on it. I think Zhang is probably the biggest opponent. Don't get me lying. I don't really, but I think that was either the biggest opponents he faced or a opponent of equal size. I could be wrong. I didn't really research it, but yeah, I look at that and I'm wondering. I said, man, why the hell Daniel Dubois couldn't get it done? And it might be because of the southpaw situation. Daniel Dubois also showed that he couldn't adjust. But Zhang went in there and he took lead. He didn't waste any time. He wasn't intimidated, man. This is a moment. I mean, I'm happy for Zhang because the Hrgovic bout, there's a man walking in the highway. Wow. He's going to get killed. Let me get away from this. The Hrgovic, I'm sorry, I'm distracted by nonsense. This is my borough. The Hrgovic situation, that's what you call failing forward. I've watched that fight, and I scored it for Zhang, man. And he was all pissed off, but he said, you know, in his mind, he said, you know, let's get back in the gym. And what people don't realize is this matchup with Joe Joyce, this was a sacrificial lamb gone horribly wrong. I don't think it's hard to match up Joe Joyce because he fights one way. If you're Joe Joyce's matchmaker, I mean, it's like, all right, what? Our guy gets hit in the face. But he eventually imposes will on people. But you still got to do your homework. When you lead with your jaw, when you lead with your forehead, when you lead with the brick of your nose, eventually you're going to come across those guys that are going to tap you up. You're wearing down your skin, scar tissue. It gets so bad that you could, I'm telling you, some of these fighters, you can walk up to them and pluck them with your middle finger on their brow or their head, and they'll start bleeding. That's how bad the scar tissue is. Joe Joyce is heading that direction, and it drives me crazy when guys are that height. And he has a decent jab, but why do you not keep your head off the line? I don't care how good your chin is. You're not supposed to show them that you have a good chin by playing tough guy and getting beat all in your head, man. That's not cool. That's not tough. Tough will get you killed. That's stupid. He showed no plan B, no boxing ability, and as expected, you know, he's lucky. He's lucky Zhang ain't a powerful puncher because he'd have been asleep. Now we see. Now listen, Stormy. About 3 or 4 years ago, that Ortiz fight was there for him. He didn't take it. Now we see why. I believe Deontay Wilder was mentioned to him, and his camp said, we're not ready for that. Now you see why. This guy is... This guy fought like an amateur last night, man. And I'm not going to discredit Zhang because Zhang won the fight. It's not that Joe Joyce lost it, if you understand what I'm saying. Zhang won the fight. He showed that this guy ain't got no plan B. He can't think outside the box. And, hey, he can't stop the straight left, so he going to eat this until he does something different. Round 6, dude. Round 6, and he got buzzed in the first round. All I kept thinking, I said, man, I can name a couple of guys that might have knocked his ass out last night. This is ridiculous. So, those are my thoughts on it, man. What you think?
Well, you know, everything that you said is pretty much spot on. I mean, I can't disagree. What I will add, though, is I want the boxing public, the people who support the sport, the people who tune in to watch the fights and want to be entertained by the fights and the fighters. Stop trying to look for the next star or the person to say, this gonna be the guy, this or whatever. Look at boxing for what it is. Because these managers and promoters are sprinkling you with so many farces that it gives you a false impression of what you're looking at when guys haven't been tested, when guys haven't been put in a position to be respected as a fighter because they've been brought through a developmental process. Joe Joyce proved last night or yesterday's effort why Frank Warren hasn't taken certain fights with him. He has been used similar to how they've used Dillian White in some instances through the Matchroom promotion. If you notice, Dillian White doesn't fight the other contenders. He's always there for some type of a certain type of a fight. It's not like his fights serve a purpose, but he doesn't fight with purpose, which is two different things.
Yes.
Frank Warren has used Joe Joyce that way, and he's going to use Danny Dubois that way as well. These guys should be fighting fights where, like last night, that was a fight between so-called two contenders, and the better contender won. Why are we being told that these guys are badasses when they've been fighting fights against guys that they could look good against, like Parker? Remember, I said about Parker a few years ago, I said that dude was on the take. Did I not say that, Drew?
Yes, yes, yes.
And it's obvious now. He serves a purpose like Dillian White, Joseph Parker. There are fighters out there. We got Prince Charles Martin, who has shown that he has learned since losing to Anthony Joshua to be a real contender. Why can't he get a fight? We got King Kong Ortiz, who's now pretty much been aged out of the game. He couldn't get a fight. Guys like Frank Sanchez, who should be fighting. Guys like Efe Ajagba, who should be fighting. But they're not. They're sitting in these positions, and they dig up fighters for them to face so they can keep padding records. But they're not fighting in fights that show who they are and define the difference between a real contender or a pretender. They're doing it with Hrgovic now. Hrgovic lost that fight to Zhang, but was awarded a decision. But Zhang has come back and fought before Hrgovic. That was Hrgovic's last fight, getting that gift decision over Zhang. But here's Zhang fighting another fighter. And I think that they disrespected Zhang so much that they thought that, that Joyce would beat him, with no problem, maybe outlast him or something. But it blew up in their face because they didn't intend for Zhang to get that type of advantage. Now you know that his fight against Hrgovic was a farce of a decision because he beat Hrgovic, who has not fought since. You know why? Because they can't find a guy for Hrgovic to be able to beat on paper and to be able to come out and be active in there again and waiting around for a title shot. You got about 6 or 7 guys who are waiting for a title shot with one of these sanctioning bodies' titles instead of fighting each other where they can decide who's really deserving or not. And let me say this in closing of the remark that I'm making. All of them have turned down a fight with Deontay Wilder. All of them.
Every last one of them. And you see, this is what happens. You hear me say this, time reveals all truth. And these marketing schemes, they get found out. You see it with AJ. We put Dubois on a pedestal. We was giving him a chance. And I got to admit, when he lost to Joe Joyce, I ain't even going to tell you. I ain't going to hold you. I didn't see that coming, man. I didn't see that coming. That was supposed to be his coming out party. And then now I'm looking at Joe Joyce. I said, all right, well, listen, he has great timing. Maybe I overlooked this guy. And now look, All of those guys in the UK, man, I'm telling you, it's no longer. I used to say there's something strange going on with them. It's no longer that. These guys are not as advertised. And I'm not joking and trolling and nothing like that. I'm just looking at the landscape. These guys are not as advertised. Bottom line. They are not as advertised. Joe Joyce, what we saw last night, look, Zhang, guys like Zhang, guys like Andy Ruiz, guys like Charles Martin, they, like you said, they successfully aged out Ortiz. We know who the real guys are. And now we know why they keep those guys in that little pot over there, in that little bubble over there. And then they play like, like double touch. The girls got to wait for the rope to turn a certain way to jump into the smoke.
Yep.
That's what they're doing over there in the UK. And they're waiting to see who the best guy is to market to us. That's why I don't hold those guys to high standards. I'm not doing that. Let me tell you, man, this AJ thing was so disrespectful. And they're looking for the next heir to the throne. There is nobody good over there like that on the level of talent that we got out there in America, and now we can say China. What happened last night is big news because it proves our point. It proves our point. You know what? I really didn't have of course, I didn't have a horse in this race, but I did say that this fight is going to be an interesting watch. And it was. Because it proved our point. The juggernaut, so what? You can take a punch. But as a trainer, if you was in JoJo's corner, you're like, okay, great, you got a chin, but you want to protect that chin for at least a decade. And this is why I said, you know what? I want to see if the juggernaut can stand up to the right hand of Deontay Wilder. I want to see. And again, like you said, that fight was on the table at some point, I believe. It was mentioned, not on the table, but it was talked about. And I do recall Team Joyce said they ain't ready for that. Same thing with Ortiz, they ain't ready for that. I knew that this guy, when I watched his fighting style, I knew that this guy was going to have a moment like this. Now, and watch this. I don't think he'll ever fight another southpaw. I'll be shocked if he does. I don't think he'll ever fight another damn southpaw. Because the cat's out the bag now. And I know Joseph Parker's kicking himself in the behind. All he had to do was come in about 30 pounds lighter and show him some angles and just pop shot him all night long. You want to go in there and try to out-muscle that big guy, man. No, you don't do that. And that was another problem, Stormy. He couldn't out-muscle Zane. He was just as big as him. He couldn't do it. There was nothing. He was throwing enough crap at the wall that nothing was sticking.
Yeah.
So I don't want to apply the term exposed to Joe Joyce. I'm going to say, see, this is who he is. This is bound to happen. I just didn't know who was going to do it. But look at Big Zhang now. And salute to him, man. Good for him.
Yeah, it was a case of all of his limitations were fed to him in one fight. And for those who are talking about, now understand, because I've said it, when you talk about keeping your head off of center line, but understand this about making that point. You can't come into the fight and move your head off of center line. You got to be moving your head off of center line when you're training, when you're in the gym, when you're sparring, when you're shadow boxing. So the fact that he doesn't do it there, why would you expect him to do it here? And I've talked about this so many times. I talked about how a person practices in the gym is how they're going to perform in the ring. Someone mentioned earlier about this clip that I have about Deontay Wilder and Malik Scott in the ring here working it out. If you look at everything that they're doing right here, You saw Deontay Wilder perform exactly like that when he fought Robert Helenius. He performed the same way of what you're looking at here and knocked the man out off of this very tight movement and showing the agility, athleticism, and mobility and combination punching. And even off of a right hand that didn't have full leverage and extension or whatever, Helenius found himself anesthetized.
That was crazy.
Because he is practicing what he's doing it right here in this clip. And for any of you that don't think that I am like, on top of it, I can also put the clip of the knockout up. It's like, boom, right there. It's the same thing. It's the same thing off of that same movement. He right around there and whacked the guy. So it's like I talk about these things. So Joe Joyce, being as big as he is, doesn't have head movement. And I'm going to tell you something. This lets you know how limited the teaching and coaching is over there. Because I don't care if you're 6'5" or 6'6". Your coach and trainer is still supposed to be teaching you about moving your head. You're not moving your head enough. You got to move your head when you throw that punch. You got to move that head after you throw that punch. You got to slip to the side, one side or the other as you're moving. You're in there training, shadow boxing, looking at yourself in the mirror. There's a reason that they have that big mirror in the boxing gym. It's not in there to look at yourself and see how handsome you are. It's to look at your technique and your form. So what the fuck are they looking at? And excuse me, I know you got your family in there, but I'm sorry.
I look at the mirror to see how good I look, but I'm not a pro fighter though.
Right, but that's in the workout gym. We're talking about in the boxing gym. It's there for you to look at your form, your technique, and when you're in the mirror and you're throwing punches at yourself in the mirror, your head is supposed to be moving. They don't teach that anymore because they just, guys see it, right? And they go in there and like, look at me. I'm shadow boxing. This is how Camacho would do it. Throw the uppercuts like this and this. And no, that's not what that's for. It's not what it's for. And again, if you don't have the old timers around to teach the things, these new wave trainers and everything, they ain't got time for that to tell you that because they don't really know themselves. And is it like, no, I ain't never took no punches in the ring professionally, but how do I know these things? How do I know? Now you got guys who are former fighters that are training fighters today and not teaching them this of what I'm talking about. So what the hell is happening? Did they take too many punches? Or were they never told themselves? You see? This is how we come to this impasse. I talk about these things. Joe Joyce is big and robotic. Anthony Joshua is big and robotic. They're going to get knocked out as soon as they fight another fighter who is capable of doing exactly what Zhang did yesterday. Anthony Joshua get knocked out by Zhang the same kind of way.
Yes. Yes.
They'll both get knocked out by Deontay Wilder, Joyce and Joshua, the same way, because they're robots, and they've been programmed to do one thing. Take me to your leader. Yeah, you remember that, Drew, when we were little kids and we used to say that? Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen to them because they haven't been taught the subtleties and the nuances of boxing. They haven't been taught. And they can get mad all they want to. They can get mad. But you know what? Get mad, but prove me wrong. Get in the gym and get better. How about that? Don't be effeminate and be out there. Who the hell that guy Stormybman thinks he is? Yeah. Show me by getting better.
Yep. Show and prove. And I can't believe Stormy. If you was training Joe Joyce and the sparring in the gym. You can't tell me he didn't have sparring partners tapping him up.
Of
Would
course.
you even allow a fight to happen? If you had a say-so, let's say, yo, you know what, man? It's been 3 months. You've been getting battered upside your damn head. You're not moving upside the line. I can't let you go into a fight like this. Cancel this fight. Fix your face, or I'm more.
Yep. That's it.
Now they're attacking his camp now, and that's what always happens.
Listen.
They're attacking the camp.
Check this out. I'll give a little quick story. I've told this once before. When Evander Holyfield was going to fight Mike Tyson for the first time, his trainers and coaches, Don Turner and what's the other brother's name? Forgive me. He's married to Lou Duva's daughter. I forget the other brother's name. They're trainers. Trick Nolte knows who I'm talking about. But they would have these sparring sessions for Holyfield, and they had to go through a few weeks of getting past this moment because they were trying to prepare Holyfield for the onset opening bell fuselage of punches that Mike Tyson was going to come out with him, because Tyson had a knack for when the bell rang, he'd jump on you right away. And there were these guys, not Gary Mason. There was a guy, David Tua. They had several sparring partners for Holyfield, and the sparring, they ring the bell and they go for 30 seconds. And Holyfield had to fight those guys off of him when they're 30 seconds, and they were told to blitz him, go out there, throw everything at him, try to knock his head off. And it took them several weeks to get beyond that. It's like every time he didn't do well, they have to stop the round and start it over again. It took them several weeks to get through that opening 30-second onset that they were expecting from Mike Tyson by these several sparring partners until they could get back to regular sparring, because they wanted Evander to be able to deal with that. That was real coaching. That was real training. And guess what? When the fight actually happened, Holyfield still almost got knocked out in the first round by Tyson, because when they trained to do that, they were training to watch out for Tyson's first punch being a big left hook. Well, Tyson came out in the fight and threw a big right hand that totally landed on Holyfield's head and knocked him sideways. But because he could take a good punch, he didn't get knocked out by the shot.
He stumbled.
Yeah, he stumbled.
I remember that.
But it was so funny because they were like so ready for the left, and Mike came out and threw it right. But again,
they were in the ring like, damn it. The hell?
But you know, and we laugh about it today. But again, what I'm trying to speak on is the fact that they were so versed in trying to protect for the opening onset, right? That they work for that. Joe Joyce did not work on any head movement or anything, even lateral movement with his feet. He didn't display the knack for having any of that. And guess what? That's why he lost. He lost that fight before he made it to the ring. The only thing he did do was get in very good condition, but he wasn't trained to do the things that were necessary to win the fight. And that's most unfortunate, because now all you got is these memes out here with your eye all swollen and people talking about you and everything, the UKI and all of that stuff, because this is what you did to yourself. Now you got to go back to the gym and get better, or come out and do this again and have the same things happen to you all over again. That's it in a nutshell.
You see, it's like a marriage. Training and conditioning means nothing without technique. And if you have technique, it means nothing if you're not trained and conditioned. It's like a marriage. You have to have the full package, which is why when you have some of these athletes, man, they're gifted. But when they don't perform to their best of abilities, they all look at the corner. You know what he reminded me of? What was his name in the 70s? What was his name? Too Tall Jones?
Yeah.
What the hell? Do y'all remember that? I mean, my God, if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, just Google it. This guy was a natural looking athlete. He was tall, and man, he got in the ring. He tried boxing. He got knocked around. It was like ridiculous. That's what Joe Joyce looked like last night. I said, what the hell is he doing? Losing. Too Tall Jones. My God.
That's what Ali said he was going to do. That's what Ali said he was going to do to Will Chamberlain. Remember when Will Chamberlain was talking about fighting Ali, and Ali was like, "You know what you're going to hear when you get to the theater and on your radio? Timber." Ali told him, he was like, "Whoop me, the greatest." He was like, doing the Ali shuffle and putting his fist on his chin, doing the shuffle and putting his fist on Chamberlain's chin. And then he told him, he was like, and one more thing, shave that stuff off your face because I ain't fighting no billy goats. He told him that. Ali was something, man. He wasn't playing either.
Oh, man.
He wasn't playing.
He'd have built Will's ass, too.
Yeah, he would have whooped him.
He'd have beat his ass.
It didn't matter how tall the dude was or anything. Ali would have whooped his ass. He beat the crap out of Ernie Terrell. Ernie Terrell was 6'6" and everything like Joe Joyce and Tyson Fury and all them guys. He was tall like that. Ali beat the crap out of that dude, especially when he refused to call him Ali and he was calling him Clay. He slapped that dude at the press conference. You gonna say my name or announce it that night in the ring? He was like, get to your theaters. I ain't never met a man I wanted to whoop so bad. He beat the crap out of Ernie Terrell.
Oh, man, that was bad. That was bad. Y'all could watch that, man. That, if y'all don't know, that's the fight. Every time the round ended, Ali was shouting at him, "What's my name? What's my name?" Yep.
And he tried to say that Ali was roughhouse tacticing him in the ring and stuff. Like one time when they was in the clinch, that Ali rubbed his face across the ropes that messed up his eye and everything. And you know what? Ali probably did do that to him. But I'm gonna tell you this: Ali could have stopped him, but intentionally didn't stop him. He just beat him up for all the rounds because he just didn't like the dude, and the dude was showing him such disrespect. Ali wasn't playing.
That was the meanest. That was the meanest I've ever seen Ali.
Yeah, and that was also during that draft situation too, when they was threatening him in the courts and stuff. So he took it out on old boy.
He sure did. Oof, that was bad. Well, I just pulled up to my destination, Stormy, man.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. Be safe out there with your family, man. I appreciate you calling, bro.
No doubt, brother. I'll see you later.
All right. Peace to you. All right.
Peace.
All right. That's my man, Drew Titan. Great call, man. Great call. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, this turned out to be a very good call-in show today. You guys. Very good. And we just about come to the end of the rainbow for today's show, man. It's like, wow, got a lot in today, got a lot of conversation in. That's what's up, man. Had a few more people than usual to smash the like button. We still ain't at 100 likes. I don't know why. Over 200 people, but you know, can't have everything, I guess. You guys Stingy with the likes. Yeah, so that's pretty much gonna be it for today, man. But I thank all of you guys that were out there today. Some of you came in and out, some of you hung the whole show, and some came in late. But it was a great show, man. A very good show. This is one of the best call-in shows we've had. I thank everybody that participated, man. Everybody. So, but we're gonna get ready to get on up out of here. I will release you guys to your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your day. You know, it's beautiful out. You know, in some places you've had some storms. I understand that, but you know, hey, go back and catch the replay if you didn't catch this whole show, man. That's what it's all about. But man, I just want to say thanks to everybody, man. Enjoy your Sunday. This is Stormybman signing off. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. We up out of here. Catch you guys on the next one.
To this day.